Back on the Three Fairies of Light in their third manga series, Oriental Sacred Place. Serialized over the course of 33 months with the duo Zune and Makoto Hirasaka putting down 18 chapters, yet another multiple of 3. I doubt all of these 3s is intentional. The fairy trio of Sunny Milk, Luna Child, and Star Sapphire are back and continuing their daily pranks, adventures, and gentle harassment of others in the world of Gensokyo. Mostly Reimu being the target of that harassment though. Now that they've moved into the Hakure Shrine, what are these little bastards getting up to now? Thank you to my supporters. If you like the video, consider subscribing or even joining the Patreon, link on screen and in the description. If you do, you'll be thanked in the videos, be able to watch each video a week early, as well as gain access to bonus videos. Not much time has passed in Oriental Sacred Place in both real life and in the story. Strange and bright natured deity left off Sunny, Luna, and Star, hitting up Yakumo Realty to get a down payment on some new property behind the Hakure Shrine. This 3-bed, unknown Bath Mongolian oak can be yours for the low price of being a weak-ass fairy. I think the decision to move the 3 fairies closer to the Hakure Shrine was a good decision. For one thing, it makes Reimu's denial over being a yokai shrine that much funnier, now that there's 3 more non-human residents on the property. But also, having the fairies closer in proximity to the shrine means that they'll be more likely to interact with characters that would otherwise have been awkward to write in a way to get involved with the fairies. The Hakure Shrine is a place where a lot of characters just congregate to. Reimu's pretty fucking popular, and maintaining her harem is like a second job after feigning shrine upkeep. What reason would Kassen have to show up at the Force of Magic, the fairies' previous home? I'm sure you could come up with some excuse, but it's so much easier to say that she's got some business with Reimu, so she shows up to the shrine. This makes it easier to have the fairies eavesdrop in and get themselves involved into the story. It's just a simpler setup for the fairies to hear some shit through Reimu and Marisa talking shit and deciding to fuck around and find out based on what they heard. Oriental Sacred Place carries over the structure of the prior installment forward with having 2-part chapters. But it really only utilizes that structure for the first half, the first 8 chapters. I don't know what made them decide to switch it up after that 8. Maybe Zune had ideas that really only needed just the 1 chapter's worth of time. Probably. I never felt that the solo chapters in this finished too early. The slice of life shenanigans felt pretty discreet and complete, such as the New Year's Eve's Faith Battle. The first half focuses on what the Myodan Temple is up to and what their customers are going to look like, and I feel that if this were a 2-parter, that the first half would have ended after Reimu running off after hitting the bell, and I'm glad that that isn't the case. Would I really want a full chapter's worth of the characters fucking around with a bell? No, not really. But I would also be lying if I said I didn't want an additional few pages squeezed out of the Hakure Shrine's New Year's Festival. One of the things I like seeing between the different Touhou mangas are the same characters expressed in different art styles, and those panels of parties and shit like that is a good way to get group shots to see those characters. Having the same characters drawn differently, accentuating and emphasizing different parts of their designs is a really good way to get to know the artist. Makoto Hirasaka's still drawing these bitches poofy as fuck. Clothes are not allowed to just flow downward, but they must flare out as well. It looks like you could just pick Misty up and shove her in your pocket. I don't know where the hell she gets the strength to pull that cart since she looks 2 fucking feet tall. But wait, Misty has got them Icarus 7s on though. But given how close Oriental Sacred Place is to Strange and Bright Nature Deity, there's not much difference in style at all. Like, you could look at the start of Strange Bright Nature Deity and the end of itself to see changes and improvements in Hirasaka's art, like how at some point he decided to change the way Luna Child's eyes are colored. But anything like that would be too minor to casually notice when it comes to comparing the start of Oriental Sacred Place and its ending. He's a pretty consistent artist through this run. There are some alternate designs and costumes in this manga that I fuck with. Pretty briefly, Luna Child is shown wearing some glasses, which appears to be an uncommon trait for Touhou characters. There's like Sumireko and Renosuke, and that's it outside of PC90. Who? Do yokai just have naturally good eyesight? There's also a Tanuki version of Marisa when she gets impersonated by one. Are you telling me that there's a canonical depiction of Marisa where she got that tail and those ears, and I haven't seen more porn of this design of her? How the fuck does that happen? There's also the Test of Courage chapter where a couple of characters are dressed up, like Reimu's eventual ghost. I think Marisa is supposed to be the Headless Horseman, Mummy Sakuya, and you've got Rhinoceros Beetle Wriggle, and I think that's Chirno dressed as a dinosaur, which is adorable. Rumia doesn't give a fuck about this dress-up shit. She just ballin'. Of the 3 fairies' costumes, Luna Child's is so fucking cute. Look at this bitch being so fucking cute wrapped in her goofy ghost getup. I love this Test of Courage chapter. Everyone immediately throws Yomu under the bus and forces her to be their target to go through the test of courage. Now, being half ghost herself, you'd think she'd be able to handle a little bit of scares, right? Hell no. This bitch is weak to some spooks and it's fucking funny. Like, how can she be so scared of ghosts? She fucking works for one. Even she showed up to have some fun fucking with Yomu. Her being easily scared will never not be an endearing character trait. I generally enjoy the various slice of life shenanigans throughout Oriental Sacred Place. The chapter with Aya had a great punchline of Aya just fucking with Reimu and lying to her to chase after a mirage. Even better than that, Marisa just joins in because who wouldn't enjoy messing with Reimu? The dual chapters Unmoving Faith have got some of my favorite series of panels in this, with some solid Goodbye Airy core compositions. Second favorite series would go back to the callback panel of Reimu kicking the fairies a shit in between chapters 18 and 1. But anyway, the chapter starts looking at a trail with some people walking by, and Aku shows up to leave a pinwheel. Sometime later, the three fairies come running by and Star notices and picks up that pinwheel. It's such a charming series of panels that doesn't even need a single piece of dialogue to tell its cute little story of characters just living their life. And it shows that Star Sapphire can be cute when she's not committing literal domestic terrorism. Where the hell did she even find that bomb? Better question, how'd Reimu live through that? These two chapters reuse this composition a couple more times throughout, and I enjoy it each time. The utilization of this panel composition sets up the fact that these shots are sequential, and when used for the third time for the punchline, it's almost as if you're watching Marisa eat shit in real time. These two chapters are probably my favorite chapters in Oriental Sacred Place. Oriental Sacred Place is short as fuck. Like, hella short. I got to the last chapter and was like, that was it? So, Stranger by Nature Deity is 25 chapters with 2 bonus chapters spread across 3 volumes. That's also on the shorter side, but a respectable length. Oriental Sacred Place 2 is 3 volumes, so you'd think that this would be about the same length, right? Hell no. This shit is only 18 chapters with that 20-ish page average. That's only about 2/3 the length of the prior installment. What made them decide to compile that in 3 volumes and not just 2? I don't fucking know. I enjoyed reading through Oriental Sacred Place. I want to say I enjoyed reading it more than Sangetsusei's prior installment, but the reason why could be a combination of multiple factors. For one, I think the 3 fairies were utilized well in this installment, since their actions will occasionally have legitimate impact, sometimes for the good. This also helps them feel less bratty than they were portrayed at times in Stranger by Nature Deity. But also it could be because it's shorter. Oriental Sacred Place sure as shit didn't overstay any welcome. How could it? It didn't have the time to even approach that status. In all, I'm liking the direction Sangetsusei is heading towards in Oriental Sacred Place, and I'm looking forward to reading some more of the 3 fairies' activities in the future.